Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Lunch Break Podcast. It's been
far too long.
It's been about a minute since we've recorded an episode of the Lunch Break.
It's like we've been on a hiatus or something. It's weird.
We did the live episode.
Yes.
And then we said, well, forget it.
Yeah.
I guess we're done.
Give up.
We get a banner that hangs up in the back, and then we don't record for months.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense, but that's us. I mean, at least me, I don't make any sense.
I
make a lot of sense.
Maybe
is
not.
Is that like a compliment or something?
Is that like an old man joke?
Yeah.
Like about sense?
It's not. Yeah, it's not even a dad joke. It's worse than that. It's not even a joke. Chris just misspoke. He's an idiot.
But yeah, no, we recorded. We'll think of it as a mid-season break. We just took a mid-season break. We're ready to get back into things. Hopefully, we'll see. Things have been a little busy here around the church, here at King's Chapel Studios.
Yeah,
and we just haven't found the time to record an episode, and so we know all of you out there are just longing for lunch break content, and we thought today would be a good day to come back.
Yes,
because
this day of all days.
On this fine Tuesday.
It's just a regular Tuesday, isn't it?
It's not just any Tuesday.
What Tuesday is it? It's
Look at my shirt, man.
Oh, you got a Jedi shirt on. I forgot.
That's not a Jedi.
It's May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. Right?
It's Star Wars Day.
I love
It's
Star
a big
Trek.
day.
Star Wars is phenomenal. Just phenomenal day.
I'll backtrack. This
For
is
all
a
you
storm.
people.
This is a stormtrooper.
I did know that part at least.
Okay.
I'm just being facetious.
Not
facetious-less, but facetious.
Facetious.
Little inside joke there.
Facetious.
Yeah.
Facetious means serious.
Right. So I wasn't being
for
serious.
you guys who didn't know. But yeah, it's Star Wars Day, which is something I'm very into.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy me some Star Wars.
Thus the shirt.
But I do my only Star Wars shirt.
I know. I've seen
which
other
is
ones.
very sad. I just don't invest money in clothing.
No.
Not branded stuff. Almost everything I wear exclusively is blank colors. But I have one Star Wars shirt. I need to get more.
It's a different. It's instead of just being a white stormtrooper helmet, it's got the colors.
Well, I got this shirt.
You got it somewhere, didn't you? Somewhere special.
Well, no, I got it off Amazon.
Oh, I thought you got it when you were in at Disney.
I got it for the occasion of Disney.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I'm going
But you were
to
smart
Disney World
because you didn't pay the Disney price for it. If
Oh,
they had them.
no.
Yeah, that's good. You did good on that one.
Yeah, we got it before our trip, knowing that we were going to go to Galaxy's Edge. And I'm like, on that day when we go to Hollywood Studios, I need to have a Star Wars shirt. So I ordered one, made sure I had it. And I got the colors because I'm like, it kind of shouts Florida.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
So yeah, that's why I have this one. I forget where I was going with that. Oh yeah, just if you don't know, I like Star Wars. I also have another podcast where I'm a co-host with my brother, who's kind of like the main guy of that one. I just add little things here and there.
He's the Chris for that show.
Sometimes you have much to say.
But you have a Star Wars podcast.
So yeah, it's called We Have Spoken, which is, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, it just sounds arrogant. If you have seen The Mandalorian, it makes way more sense. So, have you seen The Mandalorian?
I've seen the first episode, or part of the first episode. I think I fell asleep about halfway through. Not because the content was that it was boring, but I waited too late in the evening to start it. But I did like what I saw. But, I'm, as Ricky is very much of a Star Wars guy. You're a big Star Wars guy. I'm just never have been. And I'm very ignorant when it comes to it at all. But, and it's not because, and for a long time, I think I kind of poo-pooed it, the whole Star Wars universe, because I was not a big sci-fi guy to begin with. Like sci-fi, can we just still deal with the real world and what's really going on now, and deal with reality? But then I think over the course of the last few years, coming in contact with other people, another former coworker of mine, Chris, was also a big Star Wars guy, and shout out Christian Art at Eva's Docs.
Shout out.
And he would also explain some of the pseudoscience, and it was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. It's not real science, but it can make sense as to how these things would work, and a civilization living with those types of technologies. And I think I've gotten more involved in enjoying sci-fi and more open to it. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a good starting point.
But then the other problem is, maybe I don't mean to take over, but the other part of it is
Chris does talk.
I do. I do have
he has
a lot of
things
thoughts
to say.
And I started thinking, but where do I start? I mean, because it's a lot. You've got a whole Star Wars universe to explore.
It's giant.
Yeah. How do I begin this? I mean, I've watched the first 3 episodes, the original 4, 5, and 6. Right? They're not
correct.
Those were the 4, 5. Those are 4, 5. Okay. I watched those. And then, but that was so long ago. I feel like I need to just watch them again just to see what it's all about. I mean, I get for the most part the characters and who they are. Luke Skywalker, his dad's Darth Vader.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker, right? Because he's in episode 1. So I saw part of episode 1. So and then there's other people that show up like Boba Fett. Is that one of her? Saigon Jim or
no? You can't possibly think those are the names.
No.
Saigon?
Qui-Gon?
Qui-Gon Jinn. He's in episode 1, yes. Okay.
So I remember him, but...
It's Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, okay.
Boba Fett. You know who knows that? My 3-year-old daughter.
So she knows more about Star Wars than I do.
She legitimately does.
That's okay.
If I said Kylo Ren, do you know who that is?
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, see, it's unbelievable. It's
I don't
unbelievable.
know.
It's Star Wars Day.
But Boba Fett, I found out about from watching another movie. See, this is the whole other thing, is that there's so many popular references in pop culture to Star Wars that if you don't know Star Wars very well, then it's kind of like being left out of an inside joke. You don't know what it is, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool," but I know it's Star Wars, but I don't get it. Like who that, I was watching Wonder.
There's a way to be brought into the inside. Do you have a subscription to Disney Plus?
Yes.
So you pretty much have access to every Star Wars thing ever made.
Do they have everything up there? Pretty much.
Pretty much, with the exception of like the full 1970s holiday special.
Okay.
Which is.
It sounds terrible.
It's not good.
Why would you have a holiday special? That sounds weird.
I don't know. I think
that's like People's Playhouse had a holiday special.
First of all, that is amazing.
It was good. I'm just saying. But
don't even put it in the Star Wars holiday special is traditionally known amongst all people that it's really bad.
Okay.
But the character that got introduced in that special was the character of Boba Fett.
Okay.
And people thought it was pretty cool. Sorry if you guys are hearing mic noise. My mic is uber sensitive, and my cable keeps hitting it, keeps hitting my stand, and it keeps making that doing, doing. Very annoying.
Yeah, it's
sound.
It's not you.
It's not
us.
It's me. Let's try.
Yeah, move
this
it over here.
Way over there. And that might do it. Now I got this cable over here. Hope you can still listen to us with that cable dangling.
So yes, I guess I do have access to it all.
You do,
but it's kind of like and we had a little brief discussion before getting on as we
during our pre-show meeting,
which is called lunch. I mentioned what did I say? I said, oh yeah, I compared it to being an adult looking back and seeing that you didn't read any of the classic novels you should have growing up, and all of a sudden now you're intrigued by them and you want to know what you've missed out on all these years, and it just seems overwhelming. It's just there's a wealth of literature that you don't know about and you want to read it. Where do I begin? Same thing with this. Like there's just a wealth of Star Wars stuff.
There's different. I feel like there's different starting points because like The Mandalorian could be a starting point in and of itself that could intrigue you to going to the other spots.
Okay. Because
The Mandalorian is just riddled with references to the original trilogy.
Okay.
References to the prequels, I think, to some extent. The Clone Wars show. So it kind of has all these elements to where if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you're not quite sure what you're missing. But it harkens back to all these things. So if you're like, there's a character in it, Bo-Katan. Who is she? Why is she in the show? Oh, well, it turns out she's kind of a major character in some of these other shows. Maybe I'll go check those out.
Bo-Katan's the name?
Bo-Katan, yeah.
Sounds like a place in Florida. I went to Bo-Katan, Florida.
Isn't that, what is that? Boca Raton.
Boca Raton. I mean, that's why. Anyway.
I do see the similarity now that you say that. So maybe she was created down there.
Yeah, the nomenclatures.
But anyway,
is really
that was just it's just one example. So there's these.
So you might miss out on some of those
entry points because the Mandalorian, I think, as far as Star Wars things that are made, is probably one of the best products ever produced for Star Wars. Like the Mandalorians are better than the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Whatever out there, if you're listening, go nothing's better than that.
Do you mean content wise, or do you mean production wise, or both?
Both.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just it's of course better made. It's gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Star Wars,
that
yeah,
is obvious, but
the plot and everything that goes with it, I just feel like it's better than the original trilogy. Not the original trilogy isn't great, but I think Mandalorian is very good. Now that could be me loving it so much because I have all the prior knowledge and I'm a fan of the universe, so the Mandalorian's just that much better. But I still think it's a pretty good starting point that could get you into different things.
Okay. Well, here's a question. I'm just kind of spitballing things off the top of my head here. An outsider asking an insider about this kind of stuff is like, with all that's been produced with the Star Wars universe, are there any plot holes or anything that have been obvious things that have turned up that that just does not even jive with this aspect of the original or this or that maybe there's a whole subculture of people who argue about that kind of stuff, but are there major issues
there
that
definitely are, and some of it comes from I feel like the what's called the sequel trilogy, which is the latest 3 movies that have come out that are a part of the episodic movies, episodes 7, 8, and 9. No. Yeah. I can't even keep track, but yes. Yeah. Like Rise of Skywalker in particular, which is the latest one, was just it was disappointing for most people who watched it because not necessarily that there were plot holes, though there were. It was just like they tried to do a twist that nobody wanted.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't good. It just wasn't. I think they thought they were being creative, and in the end, they just weren't. They were being less creative in how they did it.
Oh.
I won't say what it was, but
yeah, no,
I think it's pretty universally accepted that Rise of Skywalker is hot garbage.
Is it really? That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it's probably not the steamiest pile.
Right. There's worse.
But it's not. Yeah, it's just not. It's not satisfying the way some of the other movies are.
Okay, well that's understandable.
But I mean, and what's funny is you talk to one person, you'll hear one thing. You talk to another Star Wars fan, you get another. Like there's like the elitist Star Wars fans that hate everything that comes out always
because none of it's the same as the original.
Correct.
3.
So there's like the purists. Then you have the people who kind of were brought up or children during the prequel trilogies, which I think I'm in that category.
Yeah, because when did the episode 1 come out? I think I was probably in middle school.
I don't know exactly.
So
I want to say somewhere around 99, 2000, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Maybe 98. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know. I'm not good with the release year stuff.
I'm just thinking mostly just in general. I think I remember being in middle school because I remember seeing Anakin being younger than me, and so I remember it in that way.
Yeah. Now, like episode 1's a pretty bad movie.
Yeah.
It's not great. Kids don't mind it because it's kind of fun, but you have like a half hour straight of pod racing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that became a whole video game.
You don't need that
on N64,
which is actually great.
Yeah.
It's a fun game,
which is better than the movie because you're playing it rather than watching people do it.
True.
Who was the character in the first one that everybody hated?
Jar Jar Binks.
Is he in the second one?
He's in all 3 of the prequels, but it's like a little less each time.
Okay. They kind of phased him out.
Yeah, so it's like in episode 3, like he's kind of there, and he like says hi to Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then quickly is not in the movie anymore.
Gotcha.
So there's a fan theory out there that Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Lord who is like pulling all the strings, and actually is the one who is behind the Empire. It's very funny. It's very funny. It's not what it is, but. Yeah, George Lucas thought Jar Jar was going to be like this amazing hit.
Yeah, like I could see for the kids, maybe having a kid kids do it, being involved in it.
Yeah, but yeah, he didn't quite take off the way that I think Lucas had hoped, because he's
Right.
kind of the butt of a lot of jokes, understandably so.
Yeah, I just remember him.
Understandably
People
so.
always making fun of him all the time when I was
Yeah,
in school and they'd seen the movies. They everybody hated
it's the
him.
voice, like come with me, Annie.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's not quite Smeagol, but
But he was annoying, kind of, wasn't
he
he?
was.
That's the whole
And
point.
the
is that he
whole
was just
point
annoying.
was the whole gun race is annoying. Like they would end their statements by going like
At the end of everything.
like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Why did you create that? So like there's just a group of people that poo poo the prequels. I don't hate the prequels. Episode 2 I really don't like. But just different people like different things. Like my brother likes the standalone movie Solo.
Okay, about Han Solo, right?
Don't like it.
That's him before he interacted with Luke Skywalker and joined,
Yeah,
kind of
it's-
met him and everything.
It's him as a young adult,
Okay.
kind of 20s maybe. Kind of how he got into being the swindler that he was in the originals. But what I didn't like is like everything in that movie had to be like, here's the origin of this.
Oh,
Even the name
much.
Han Solo.
Oh, really? How would he get his name? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's not his
so,
original name.
Well, let me tell you this.
Oh, tell me, yeah.
And I know I realize that in probably doing this, I'm not making you want to see these movies anymore. But
No, not necessarily.
he's like escaping from being a part of this. Maybe he's a part of a crime syndicate at this point. I don't know. He's a part of something, and he's escaping, and he has to get through like an Imperial stopping point. And so he wants to enlist. He decides, I'm going to enlist in the army, and so that way I can get away from all these guys who are on my tail. And so they ask him for his name, and he says Han. And he's like, just, what's your last name? Nothing, it's just Han. Okay, your name is Han Solo.
So he just
like-
added his name.
What?
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then he meets Chewbacca.
Yeah.
He asks him his name, and he says Chewbacca, and he's like, Chewbacca, that's too long. I'm never saying that. I'm just going to call you Chewie. Now, everyone
Oh,
could surmise
yeah.
that Han Solo calls Chewbacca Chewie on account of it's a shorter way of saying it.
Yeah, it could have just been him.
That's
that
why I don't
came-
call
that
you
coined it.
Christopher at all times.
Right. But you didn't need somebody from outside saying, "Oh, well, that's too long to say. Let me just give you a shorter name."
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's bad.
Trying
but
too hard.
Star Wars historically has been known for really bad dialogue,
Yeah.
particularly with George Lucas. He had these great ideas, but he couldn't write a good script.
Yeah. But it's getting better with the writing now that he's not really affiliated.
Yeah.
right?
The stuff for the Mandalorian has just been so good, and there's just more coming down the pipe. That's going to be. Is
So
it
is-
coming
this
down the
is more-
pipe or coming down the pike?
Pike.
It's pike, like the
Pike,
road,
I believe so.
down
yes.
the road,
Yeah.
not down a giant pipe.
Pipe.
Okay.
No, because I think they canceled the pipe, didn't they?
Oh, well, I don't want to get political.
The pipeline has now been truncated. No, I definitely want to start watching some more for sure. And but even some of the things that I just because looking back now and seeing things differently as an adult, because one thing when you're a kid, you see it through a particular lens. When you get older, you start to understand the storyline better. It becomes more enjoyable, fuller understanding, all that kind of stuff. So, like for instance, my kids, I tried watching the episode 4 with them because they had been wanting to watch it for so long. We watched part of it; they kind of fell off because it was just too boring for them.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, "Oh, this is actually really interesting." I'm finding out that Han Solo is a swindler. He wasn't just some guy who met up with them and was really nice. Like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you guys out." He's like, "No, it's out for his own best interest." And I'd forgotten that component to his character, which maybe it was a major part of his character, obviously, but I just didn't remember it.
The fun aspect of Han Solo in that movie specifically is there's a scene when he's in the booth and he's talking to Guido. I'm confusing stuff altogether. And he's having this conversation, and it was always Han shot him before.
Right.
So it was like, who shot first? Did Han shoot first? Like almost like wanting to pretend that Han wasn't a bad dude.
Yeah, he wasn't that bad of a
And
guy.
so then there's been these series of edits.
Right.
So
Did they
there was
take
an
it out?
edit where he made Greedo shoot first. So they made a quick fire and then Han blaster goes off. And then they've since retracted that. It's just this whole whole silly thing.
Didn't they have it where they didn't even shoot him at all? Like there was no shot?
No, there's always a shot.
There's always been a shot?
There's always.
There's no way to
I'm pretty sure there's
that
always
out.
been a shot.
Yeah, how do you do that?
The
after all
latest
these
edit.
years?
The latest edit has Greedo saying McClunky, which no one knows why they have him say that, but it was a redub that is present.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So how do you get to the? So what's the one that's on Disney Plus? If I was to watch that
It's
one,
not the special edition.
But...
It's another edit because those all have their 4K upscaling.
Okay.
Or yeah, something. So they look really good. But I think that one took out the Greedo shot and just let Han shoot, but he had a reason for shoot. I don't even remember. Like I have a VHS tape with the originals on it.
Yeah.
That I borrowed the trilogy from a friend, then did the old VCR copy.
Yes. Which
so
never
like
turns out very
the
good.
brightness level keeps fluctuating.
Yeah.
But I still have it, so I should consult it. But I don't have a VCR.
Yeah, those are hard to find now.
And I will
There might
say,
be one here at the church. Actually, you can just.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Check it out.
churches are usually pretty good at having out of date
technology. That is true.
How else are you gonna watch those VeggieTale tapes? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that's interesting.
And I will say another fun thing. So, have your kids watched anything Star Wars other than Episode 4?
They have not watched anything other than that. No.
So, I think a fun starting point, and I enjoy them as
Clone
an
Wars?
adult. What's that?
Clone Wars?
No. Well, Clone Wars is fine, but it does take some
animated,
working knowledge from the prequels.
Okay. Never
In
mind.
Clone Wars, the way Star Wars cartoons always seem to start out is like, we're going to make these for the kids, and then the adults lock on, and then they become not adult as in like Adult Swim, but like they do kind of become less and less kid friendly and more like adults like, oh my gosh,
More
what is going to
sophisticated.
happen?
Yeah.
Which is good for me, but probably bad for kids. But kids can still follow. It's never leaves the realm that a kid could watch it. But they have like Lego Star Wars stuff on there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Lego
That's
Star
pretty
Wars.
fun. They have like just these, I think it's like a 4-part series called the Yoda Chronicles or something like that. That it kind of pokes fun at Star Wars, but at the same time it's entertaining. Then also there's a decent Star Wars, Phineas and Ferb Star Wars.
No way.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
it's kind of fun. It's like Phineas and Ferb exist on these two guys from Tatooine, and everything's in parallel with what's actually happening in the movies. But there's just this ridiculous aspect to it. So like Perry the
They show up
Platypus is
somewhere.
like a spy for the rebels. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So do you kids watch Phineas and Ferb?
No, I know what it is, but they have not watched Phineas and Ferb.
Okay,
But I can see how they could.
So that one's pretty
they could
fun.
watch that.
I did see that launching today. There was a Simpsons version of it. Not
Oh
that.
my goodness, they're all over the place.
Yeah, so they do these little different things, so you can like kind of enter the Star Wars universe without even getting into the canonized stuff.
Yeah, and then that's where you kind of learn. Like there's enough of my working knowledge to know typically what references are in pop culture, but because it's so often, it makes me like, oh, I probably should watch more of this and get involved in it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do decide to watch the movies, there's multiple ways to watch it. There's the theatrical release.
Yes, right. Do it 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2,
Right.
3. Okay.
Or you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It all depends on what you want to do. There's different ways of watching it where they say watch episode 1 and 2 and then go back and watch the prequels and then watch Return of the Jedi. Or episodes 4 and 5. You know what I mean? So, and then because there's these little Star Wars stories videos that have been made, movies, the Han Solo's like it's called a Star Wars story, where it exists, but it's not a part of the episodic trilogies. And then there's Rogue One, which is probably one of the best Star Wars movies also made. Rogue One, that takes place between episode 3 and episode 4, right up next to episode 4.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot to get into now. So I'm actually to start somewhere, I guess.
Anyway.
At some point, you gotta make a decision. I'm gonna start somewhere. I think I'm gonna start with Mandalorian because it just seems very accessible. It's new.
You got 2 seasons to watch, so
Jon
you can kind of
Favreau
get
is
into
part
it.
I love Jon Favreau stuff.
Ugh.
My brother Tony's into it, and he's like it's like the spaghetti western
It is.
feel to it.
Right. I
which
think
is
you would
cool, which I like.
appreciate definitely the cinematography and just everything that goes into it. It's good. It's very good.
Right.
So
They even have drinks that are named after Star Wars things, right? Like this morning we went to Where we go this morning?
We went
Which
to
we found
a little.
We found too late.
I know.
after
I
we
already
already
ordered my
ordered
drink.
our
We went to
drinks.
a local spot here in Glenmont, Untamed Nutrition.
Yeah, it was
Got
delicious and nutritious.
It was good. I got a protein shake called. I got a mint Oreo, which was very good. But I noticed as I was checking out, today's special was the Baby Yoda. I could have had the Baby Yoda on May 4th.
That would have been. Yeah, you still have time. It's not midnight yet.
I'm not going to go get another one.
2 protein drinks in one day.
That's a lot
of protein.
That seems like a lot of protein. It's
Yeah.
probably still not enough protein for what I should have.
No. I had the strawberry shortcake, which was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. But there was so much. But yeah, I saw that on the way out. That actually you've saw it, and then that's when I put together it was May 4th. Yeah. But Baby Yoda isn't that like breaking a cardinal sin too? Isn't it in a sense? Like he's not really Baby Yoda.
He's not Baby Yoda.
He
but
just looks like a baby.
So
but he's not
much
really
of
Yoda.
the world has dubbed him Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
That it's like there's no coming back from it.
Right.
It is what it is. So
yeah.
Anyway, so I would say start watching some Star Wars.
I will.
Why not today?
May the 4th be the day that I start.
Put something on tonight.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Put the Mandalorian on first episode.
There
Finish
you go.
it up. I'll start from the beginning so I
Finishing
can
it.
see the whole thing all the way through. As long as it's okay with Brianna, if she wants to watch it, I'm sure she'll be fine watching it with me.
I want to return to this conversation. I want you to watch all the Mandalorian,
And then we can talk about it.
and then we got to chat.
All right.
Have a little
Sounds
chat.
Sounds like a deal. Let's do that.
Cool.
'Cause I like talking movies. You like talking movies. You like talking specifically
I
Star
love
Wars. It sounds good to me. Let's make it happen.
it. All right. Hey, Chris. May the 4th be with
May
you.
the 4th be with you as well.
And may the 4th be with all of you.
guys.